What's going on, everyone? Mike Plachter, that flipping accountant, and welcome to Flipped Off. I got a really special podcast today with Mike Totino from Safety First Home Inspections. What's going on, man?
My man, Mike, we go back, man. I appreciate you having me on your platform, bro.
Yeah, dude, no problem. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Like you were the first person. I think you were the first person I met in real estate.
Really?
Yeah. When I first started in 2020, um, I didn't really know many people. Obviously, I said people to RIA. Like I went to East Coast RIA, which we're both the members of.
Hmm.
And I knew people through the group a little bit, but nothing like I do now. But anyway, like I was going and getting deals. I was doing direct mail. Got that lead in Levittown,
That's
and
how we met.
that's how we met. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was following you on Instagram. I had the Instagram going,
Right, right.
and I'm like, oh, I know this guy. I know like you and Charles. Like those are like the two people I think I followed on Instagram at the time.
Okay.
And I think I found you through him actually. Whatever. But anyway, so I called you up. I needed an inspection done on that property, and yeah, we just kind of hit it off from there. I've known you ever since.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So good, dude. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your business.
So my name is Mike Totino. I'm the owner of Safety First Home Inspections. This is my third year in business. Up to date, my company's done over 700 home inspections. Prior to that, I was a licensed contractor. And overall, I have over 10 years of experience in the construction industry. And the funny thing is a buddy of mine was a part-time home inspector, and he was telling me about the industry. And I thought about it. I said, okay, I know construction. I'm good with people. I know, just networking, social media. And I was like, this kind of aligns with everything I'm already good at. So then I decided to get my license, and I never looked back. I mean, my business just kind of took off. But I will say this, it took years of uncertainty and just failures and setbacks for me to find my niche. And the biggest takeaway that I've learned from this journey so far, because I've been an entrepreneur for, I would say, 10 years now. And I've been seeing results for the last maybe 2.5. So just imagine 7.5 to 8 years with no traction whatsoever, you know?
Wow. Okay. So
But I was in the wrong industries.
yeah, no, I want to get so I wanted to get into that, but first, as how'd you get started? And yeah, again, then we'll just kind of work through because I know
Sure, sure.
you're doing like other stuff before the home inspections.
Yeah, so how I got started was just my buddy, just telling me about the home inspection industry. And at the time when I was a contractor, one thing about that industry is that, you know, you are relying on so many factors every single day to go perfect, whether it's the carpenter, the electrician, the cabinets, the garbage, your client's spouse. This is every day. And at that point in time, I felt like this is too much to, like, everything has to be perfect. And let's say someone decides not to show up, they call out of work, the whole day's off. And I'm just like, you know what? I can't be relying on so many people just to make an income. Now, of course, you can be a successful contractor. Just that was my experience where I felt like that didn't match my personality, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and then prior to that, I was a union carpenter in Manhattan. And, it's a lot of physical labor, and, just the work schedule was just like I had no quality of life, you know?
Yeah. So in the union, then you decided, you know what, I'm gonna go out on my own,
Yep.
be a contractor on my own, and you were
So
doing that.
before it's people, a lot of people don't know this. Before I was actually a contractor, I was a real estate agent for like a year and change.
What? Really?
Yeah. So I tried a little bit of everything, but that's why it got me to that point of knowing construction, real estate. I flipped a couple of houses too as an investor. So I was pretty rounded up to that point. But like I said, I felt like I was in different industries that just it wasn't my fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's important in your 20s to like hop around and
You
figure out
have to,
like
yeah.
what you want to do. Because if
Yep.
you don't know exactly what you want to do, like, dude, hop around, figure it out.
And that's
Yeah.
okay too. There's a lot of people that are still trying to figure things out, and that's totally
Yep.
fine. And you know, some people find their niche the minute, they turn 21.
Yeah.
That wasn't my case, but it almost seems like what I'm doing now happened overnight, but that's not the case. Not the case at all.
Yeah. Well, I always say to people like your 20s are for like learning, and your 30s are for earning, and then
Yeah.
40s and 50s invest, continue to earn a lot, but then also now you have some money, you can kind of invest it a little bit. And then you retire. But I yeah, 20s is like, yeah, hop around, figure it out. And then once you find something, like learn everything you can about that. And I always tell people, I'm like, you shouldn't even care like what you're getting paid. People want to come out of college, they're like, oh, I want $100,000 salary.
Yep.
It's like you didn't even do anything. Like why would we give you 100 grand as a business
Yeah.
owner? It's ridiculous. But yeah, once you kind of like figure out, learn everything about it, because you're going to be able to capitalize on that in the future when you're 30, 40. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of what you did. You're kind of focusing now on the one thing.
And let me tell you, my 20s, I spent years of unpaid work. Like when I tell you running around, giving estimates or meeting people left and right. Now, that's part of the process too. But I'm at a point now where, respectfully, I'm not stepping outside unless I know I'm being paid X amount now. But I've earned it to that point
Right.
from the years of not being paid,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
you
No,
know?
the contracted business is tough, man, because you gotta like,
Yeah.
there's so many different parties you have to like please, right? There's the homeowner, the
Yeah.
homeowner's wife, and then like, it's like a constant communication thing. And then like some contractors aren't great at it. So it's like you think they're coming. Like I had a guy put on a mudroom and like they didn't show up for weeks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, like,
You
listen,
told me about this too. Yeah.
just tell me you're not going to show up. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
listen, don't be like, hey, sorry we didn't come this week, but we'll come like next Thursday. It's like
Not,
Monday. It's like,
yeah.
dude, that's like 10 days away.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, figure it out. So yeah, I've had trouble with contractors and stuff, but if they were just a little more communicative, more businessmen like
Mhm.
yourself, I think it'd be a little bit better. But it's a very hard business.
Of course.
So I guess go into your background a little bit on the investing side, because I know from the contracting, I mean, you have that skill set, you had the people working for you,
Mhm.
then you were flipping properties, and that's kind of how you got into all this, right?
It was, yeah. I had a partner in the contracting business who's actually still a contractor, and I was just on the phone with him right before hopping on this meeting with you for like an hour. Um, so I've actually known him since elementary school. And one of the most grateful things is that he understood the transition I was making, and he fully supported that. He knew that the inspection industry was my niche. Um, and so our first flip was with another partner of mine slash childhood friend. Um, it's funny. It's almost like the people who I grew up with. It's like I put them on, like that's how I roll. Like, you know,
You put them
um,
on, like, what do you mean?
like with opportunity.
Oh yeah, you kind of like go into business with them and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not saying everyone has panned out. But the first flip, my partner and I, we actually shadowed some seasoned investors. We did two properties with them. We were kind of like the shadows. I wouldn't say we were like hands-on, like, but they kind of taught us the process of the deposit, the closing, the inspection part. We did that with them twice, and then our third flip, we did it on our own, which would technically be like our first one, like with
Right.
us wearing all the hats. And then I did another flip after that one. So yeah, I've done four flips in total, and I'm currently under contract. I'm sorry, I'm currently finishing up my fifth one with my same partner for the contracting.
You're in the flip now?
Yeah, that property is hitting the market, I would say any day now.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing a flip.
I don't really showcase that part of, like, I don't really announce that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you owned it for like a while with COVID, or you just kind of got it and it was a good deal?
So with this deal, what I'm learning about real estate is that every deal is different. Like there's like every flip I've had up to this point, I've had different roles. So
Okay.
the first two I was shadowing. The third one I was hands-on with my partners. Now, um, The fourth one, I was hands-on as well. And the fifth one, this one now, I was more acting as a lender, like
Nice,
an
nice,
investor. So this property, I haven't even stepped foot in.
nice. That's a good one. Like once you find
Yeah,
a good operator and you just
correct.
say, hey, here's some money, they'll give you a nice return.
I mean, my partner is the contractor. You can't, that's a home run.
Yeah, exactly.
So his capital is invested just like mine. So he has a vested interest to get in and get out just like I do.
Yep, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, how did that lead into the home inspections? Because I know you're doing that. Obviously, it's your main gig.
Yeah. So with the home inspections, I felt like at the time we were dealing with a lot of BS as contractors, not between my partner and I, but just more everything I mentioned with the client, the electrician, plumber, and my partner's built for stuff like that. Like your personality has to match the industry you're in for you to be successful, I feel like. And he has a natural eye for construction, things like that, and managing people. And then another friend of mine who was a part-time home inspector was telling me about it. And I said, you know what, this kind of makes sense with I know real estate, I know construction, I'm good with people. I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable. I'm not rough around the edges, which a lot of construction guys are. You have to think as a business owner as well. You have to be well spoken. I
Yep.
felt like it just aligned with what I'm already good at. And then I got in the process of getting my license, I knew that this was it. I'm not looking back.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you started when? Like 2018
Uh
with
I
that
was
with that business?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Oh, so right before COVID.
Before
Uh,
COVID. Yeah. Yep.
so and you were just that was all you're doing. Like you didn't have another job. You were just like, I'm doing the home
No
inspections.
backup. I had no backup plan.
Dude, that's crazy. Because you were renting at the time. You got bills. You got real bills, you know?
And yeah, and for my fellow business owners out there, because like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years within different industries, but one of the takeaways that I learned, I'd say the two biggest things is one, when you're starting out a business, you have to have reserves and don't think about revenue because it's going to take time to build relationships. Because if you're only showing up to lock in a sale, people will see that 100%.
Yeah,
And
100%.
then
They don't want
I
to be
would,
around that.
you don't want to be around that. Yeah. And then the second biggest thing that I've learned is you have to identify with what's not working. You can work your work ethic can be there. You can work hard. I've always been a hard worker, but it was towards the wrong thing. And
Yeah.
and once I learned that, all right, I need to focus on maybe doing home inspections instead of an industry that I'm just personally not happy in, and it just didn't mesh with who I am. Once I transitioned, it was almost like it just happened like one after another. It was like boom. It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
the word started spreading quick.
That's that's no, like that's a great thing to be in. Like you just kind of had no backup plan, like you said. Like you had,
I
I'm sure
still don't.
you have reserves, right? You had some money and say, all right, let's give this a shot.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what it takes sometimes is like putting your feet to the fire and saying,
Yeah.
this has to work. And
Now
if it
mine,
doesn't,
yeah.
we're screwed.
Now I have a picture. I gotta find it. I think it's so I have a picture from my 30th birthday, right? I'll never forget. It was a Wednesday night. Now, typically when people turn 30, for the most part, they're already established with their career. They probably own a home by then. They have a family, wife and kids, whatever the case is. My 30th birthday, or for their birthday, they're having an extravagant milestone party, right?
Yeah.
30th birthday. This is when I was in the process of getting licensed. I just purchased my pickup truck outright. I paid thousands of dollars for getting licensed. I had to pay for business cards, corporation, like all that stuff. I was in the hole, I'd say about 20 grand, while not really making an income. So my 30th birthday was at Benihana's on a Wednesday because I was broke. At 30 years old, I was broke. Not,
Oh my god.
I don't want to say I was broke. Like I always saved money, but I wasn't making money. So in my mind, I consider that broke. In my mind, at least. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
like you can have money in the bank, but if you're not generating income, like that for me, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah. No, I understand.
But then
So yeah,
yeah,
no, you finish.
but then I got licensed, and then my 31st birthday, literally 1 year later, I did over 100 home inspections from my
Wow.
birthday. I went to Vegas, Los Angeles. I went to the Grand Canyon. My 32nd birthday, I went to Peru. I went to mountains and hiking the country. Like,
Yeah, I remember that. So I think we met like right after you got back from the Grand Canyon because you were talking
probably,
about that
yeah,
for
yeah. But
uh
that goes to show you what 1 year difference can make of just working hard.
yeah, 100%.
No.
So that's so when I first met you, I guess like how did you grow your business? Because when I at the time I met you, you were already starting, you were still growing a business,
Yeah.
social media and stuff, but like from that first home inspection, like who hired you and then how did you keep growing it? Because did you have maybe it was social media, but like what did you
So my first home inspection was from a realtor named Glenda Guzman. Shout out to Glenda. So we actually have mutual friends um on a personal level, like not even in the industry, but I was networking before I was even licensed. I was literally telling people, "Hey, I'm an up and coming home inspector." And the one person that knows that definitely is Susie Padro, Jose's wife. Do you know
okay.
her or no?
I don't. I know the name. I know. I think I know him through social media, but I don't. No, I don't know them. Like I don't personally know them.
Yeah, so I met Susie. I want to say maybe at an open house, and then I saw her again at the brewery number 2, I think, and
Okay.
that's where I first met Eric Braun. But long story short, I've built my business from taking the time and showing up. That's how it works.
Taking the time, showing up, doing what you
You
say
got
you're
to
gonna
show
do.
up. You got to network. You got to add people on social media. You have to add value on social media too. You can't just post, "Hey, give me a deal just because," or "Hey, hire me just because." No,
Yeah.
it's this is what I'm doing right now that can help you achieve your goals.
Yeah, you got to bring it to the next level. I always tell it like I reach out to many realtors all the time just to get
Yeah,
deals and things like that. And what I do initially, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Mike, I'll send you deals." No one ever calls you back, right?
never.
So
Yeah.
it's always got to take it to the next level. Give them a call back in another few weeks.
Mhm.
Even there, you still got there's a breaking point where someone goes like, "All right, Mike's a nice guy,
Yeah, yeah,
like let me put him on like the serious list of investors and."
yeah. Sure.
I'll send them deals. Like that's how you do it. And people think it takes one or two communications. I'm like
Wow.
dozens.
I've met realtors at networking events 7 or 8 times before I finally get my first inspection.
Wow. Yeah,
7, 8 times. Yeah.
that's what it is. It's not a quick thing. I talk to realtors all the time. And I'm telling you, there's like at some point, everyone's different. I have a
Yeah.
30-minute conversation with someone. They go, all right, I like this guy a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or some people never really open up and they say, what do you want, Mike? you
Yeah.
know?
No, no. I get it. Another thing too, this is how I started out too. When when I would go to networking events, I would actually, post pictures and I would tag everyone in my stories because now they're gonna repost it. So now every person that I'm in the picture with, they're gonna repost it. And now there's 5 or 6 people reposting safety first. So now it happens,
Yeah.
you do that over and over again. By the time you start showing up to these events, people feel like they know you already
That
because they've seen you so much.
Bro, that is the key. I always tell people get on social media.
Yep.
And people, I'm not a person who wants to put myself out there. Really, I never was like that. Right. But when I realized this, I'm like, you have to social media because the thing is, like, it's networking. But here's the big thing. It's like when I'm in and I'm not posting stuff all the time. I'm communicating with you. I'm like, I'm writing on your post. I'm saying, Mike, great job.
Yeah.
And then I'm writing on that person's post. And then like we're communicating. Now we have some sort of relationship, whether it's virtual or whatever. But then when I see them in person, like when I went to Eric's event in the summer, like last like 2 summers ago or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. At the
Patch
house or
Patchogue. No, the one in
oh, Dublin Deck.
double deck.
Yeah.
That was when I kind of first started, like 6 months in or whatever. And when I started, I saw everyone there, like in person.
Yep.
Everyone was, it was just so easier to kind of break through that barrier of like, oh, the icebreakers, like, hey, how are you doing? What do you do? What's your name? Like that kind of stuff. You break through all that, it's gone. And then it's like your boys, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the key. So you cut through like half of the nonsense with traditional networking. So you got to go on social media, everyone. Just that's a quick tip I think everyone's got to do. So I guess what would you say is your most effective marketing strategy in
Social
your
media.
business? Yeah, right. That's kind of I figured you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
So how has social media like helped you in your business? I guess it's essentially grown your entire business for you. I mean, not for you, but like you're the one doing the work, obviously.
Yeah. I make it relatable. I don't post everything about boilers and smoke detectors every day because that's boring. And I actually just it's funny because I did a collaboration with a realtor not too long ago, and she said the same thing. You have to make your content relatable. So, like for example, whatever your personal hobbies are, whether people like playing the guitar, bike riding, cooking, traveling, I would start posting those hobbies on your stories, or you're a cat lover, dog lover, and you're gonna start attracting like-minded people, and then those people are gonna start messaging you, oh, uh, that's a great meal, or you could do polls on your stories. Do you think I should add this ingredient to whatever you're making?
Right.
And people will start messaging you and things like that, or for fitness, or like myself, like I like reading.
Right.
Maybe I'll post a story. Any good recommendations? You know,
That's what it is. It's
that's
like so.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's how you build your community, like with like-minded
Yep.
people. Then the business follows that. Don't think about business.
Right. Yeah, because I see people they think they can like outsource social media and they'll have like these generic posts by someone in another country and it's just like
Bad idea.
posting it. I think, yeah, it's like not good content in my opinion. So
It's not personal either.
it's not personal. It's like every day there's the same post. It's just like a little different. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be you. And I can see your lifestyle because it's about me knowing you and your
Yes.
life. It's not just about business or whatever, you know.
Like for example, so for people who may not know, people make fun of me for this, whatever. I don't care, but I love music, right? So I will post music. I'm sure you've seen it, right, Mike?
Yep.
I post the song that I'm listening to, whether it's during my workout or whatever the case is. But I posted a song once that another realtor liked also. They reached out to like, you know what? Let's have a meeting. And sure enough, we had a meeting based off of just having the same similarities in music. And this
Wow.
person took my brochures, told me they were going to start handing it out at open houses just because we share that common interest.
Wow.
That's
That's
why
key.
I tell people, like, whatever your hobbies are, make sure that is part of your brand.
Right. And social media is like networking on steroids because
Yeah.
how would you have known? How would you and that person, first off, even if you did meet in person, like back, before social media,
You wouldn't
even if you
know.
did meet, how would you know that you like that song?
Yeah,
You'd have no
exactly.
fucking clue.
Yeah. And like, I don't intentionally do that in hopes, all right, I'm going to post this and
Right.
someone's reach out. No, like, when I post my stories, this is like, hey guys, this is my life. Welcome to my daily, whatever it is, whether I'm reading in the morning, exercising. Um, it's a good feeling though when I'm at networking events and people approach me talking about fitness because I like mental health, physical health. So I post something in the gym every day, and then people also say, you know what, Mike, I'm starting to wake up earlier now because I see that you're up at 4 o'clock every day. So if you can do it, I can do it. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah, no, dude, I was doing it for a while too. I was waking up at similar times. Maybe it was like 4:35
Yep.
some days. I had switched it up a little bit. Now I'm like a night owl. Like
Yeah,
I'm up fucking way later than you.
yeah.
But it's different now. But so I guess where are you going? So where do you want to go with the business? Because now I see that you might be having some inspectors that work
Yes.
under you because you're an expert. You are, let's at this point, you are a home
Thank
inspection
you.
expert.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so what I've learned too, it's so funny because you learn at different stages of your career. Like
Yep.
there were things that I learned at this level as I'm growing here, and there's things I'm going to continue to learn as I get bigger. But one of the main lessons is that as you're growing, you have to get out of your own way, meaning your business can no longer run on just you, the owner, being available. So now I have a receptionist now. I have I have my first inspector, and I'm currently working on the second one because, like I said, if I'm not available, if I'm in a meeting, if I'm shooting content, if I'm doing a home inspection, and someone else needs a home inspection done, there's other people available to answer the phone, schedule, and to be at the property as well, you know? So to answer your question, so 2023, I'm gonna have two inspectors under me. I just handed in my application to give CE credits for real estate agents as an instructor.
Wow.
So I hopefully by the end of this month, January, I should have an update. But um it's all about adding value. And I know people say, when running a business, think of ways to solve problems, and me personally, I don't like solving other people's problems. That's just me. I don't like problems, but I like adding value to make people's lives better. That's my perspective on business, not problem solving everybody else's problems. So
What are you gonna do with the CE thing? You're gonna teach realtors as they can get CE, right, for your
credit.
course,
Yep. Yep.
and you're gonna teach them things about the house, which is an added benefit for the realtor, but it's also an added. But you're probably gonna get business out of that too, man. That's
But it's
great.
not. But it's not only the workshops that I host. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna start working on renting out. Like, of course, you gotta start small. So maybe I'll rent out a small section of a restaurant and do a 2-hour CE course
Right.
there, workshops. But eventually, mark my words, Mike. I'm gonna I'm aiming to be like a nationwide household name.
With inspections.
I'm going to be, yeah.
Wow. So you can have
Yeah.
inspections across the country.
I would say more, I wouldn't say having inspectors under me, but more like training and like consulting up and coming inspectors nationwide.
Could you do like a franchise model with that business? Like if you were to have the safety first in different states and then have business owners run that stuff?
I'm actually changing my name too. So Safety First is going to be no more.
Oh, okay. That's not announced yet, right? We don't have to talk about it now, but
No,
that's
I can't say the name yet, but
yeah, yeah.
the reason why I'm changing and rebranding is because when people think Safety First, they think of Mike Totino, the home inspector that's everywhere 24/7. And that's something I kind of shot myself like in the foot with. But once again, you don't think of these things as you're growing. You have no idea. And obviously these are good problems to have, but these problems need resolutions. So the new company name is going to be promoting that this is a whole team now. It's not Mike. Don't call Mike's cell phone to schedule a home. Call the business line, the receptionist. So
Yeah.
you know,
Wow, that's pretty cool.
and
So yeah.
my phone's ringing right now, but
So that's awesome. So how has the E-Myth worked with you? Like how has that reflected on you and your business? Because I think that's kind of where I was going with that.
did I tell you that I read the book too? Or wait, didn't we?
Oh, we've talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the E-Myth that lesson taught me, get out of your own way. Your business cannot run just when your cell phone rings. Like, for example, like I don't know who called me just now, but my voicemail says, contact the business line to schedule any home inspections, and there's like an automated message. So just so I can continue to do things like this, you know,
Right.
or I can't wear every hat anymore, Mike. I can't be just a 24/7 home inspector. And there are other inspectors out there that wear every hat, but I was doing that for 2.5 years, and it got to a point like I'm burning out. Not only am I burning out, I'm also losing business, trying to manage everything at once. There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. You got to bring people on at some point
There's no way.
to
Yeah.
help you. Just take the load off. You know what I mean?
And
Um,
and not only that, but people don't hear me say this often, but like you also need a balance in your life too. Like there might be times I want to go out to the movies or take a day off to enjoy my life too, and I feel like I've been pushing this whole grinding, workaholic, mentality. It's got me to this point, but that's the sacrifice you got to make, like in the beginning.
well, I don't know if this is an e-myth, but it's like at some point you step back and say you want to work on your business, not in your
Yeah.
business, right? Is
Yes.
that maybe that's from the e-myth? I don't, or maybe you've said it enough times that I've
Yeah.
heard it.
Yeah. You definitely, yeah, you want to work on your business. And that's where, something like providing CE credits to realtors, that's me working on new relationships.
Right.
So, like in the E-Myth, you have the technician, right? You have the manager, and I
Yeah.
think you have the entrepreneur, right?
Is it three or four of them? I do. Yeah, those three
There's
exist. Yeah.
three of them.
Right.
Now, the technician, in my case, being the home inspector, they would see the CE courses as a waste of time. You know why? We're not making money doing a home inspection right this second. This
Right.
CE is a waste of time. The entrepreneur, the business owner is thinking, wow, this is relationships long term. This is what we got to do, you know?
Yeah, it seems like all right. So you're out of that technician phase, and you're trying to be, you're going to have people working under you that are doing most of the work. Now you're in like the management and the entrepreneur stage.
Yes.
Like obviously, you're going to have to start bringing on systems to manage the business, and that's going to be something you're going to work towards.
I
And
already
then the
have that.
entrepreneurs, like you're already brewing up ideas to do like 10
Yeah.
different things. You know?
So yeah, so as far as like for example, with my receptionist, I recorded myself like what is it called? Like sharing my screen.
Yeah.
I recorded myself. Someone else will call me again now. But I recorded myself on scheduling a home inspection on how to do X, Y, and Z because when I hire somebody, I'm not taking the time to train them all over again from A to Z. I have videos in place. Watch the video. It has every answer for you. Because Mike Totino doesn't have all the answers. The systems that Mike Totino created has all the answers.
Oh wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, dude. I have something very similar to that where I can kind of like screen share but
Yes.
record me.
Yes.
It's something very similar.
Yep.
And I'm gonna start doing that because I do have like little tasks that need to be done in my business. So I'm gonna start outsourcing a lot of this stuff.
But
And then
Mike,
I
but
yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you off. But what happens when you hire that first person and a month later it doesn't work out? Are you going to take the time to train them all a new
exactly.
person all over again? No, you have a video.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah,
the,
you just like document it all, put it
yep.
somewhere, like tag it a certain way so you can go
That's
back to it,
that's it.
and then it's there.
That's it. Yep.
No, that's brilliant, and I think with technology, we could utilize it nowadays to help us grow in for infinity. Really,
Of
there's like no
course.
limit. There's really no limit anymore. um, so I guess yeah, dude, that's pretty much it. If you want to talk about like what are your goals, like where are you taking this business? Where's it? I guess the next step is maybe going national and just working, like I said, on the business,
Yeah.
not in the business, or maybe it's the investing side. Because I know you do are interested in doing, that's how we met. Really, you want to be an investor too.
Yeah. So I would say, you and I said this off the record, but I would say one of my goals for 2023 is to purchase my first rental property. So that's definitely on my to-do list. And then as far as the business goes, I would say to obviously make more relationships and kind of tighten up the systems, to have a CRM as well, because you can meet all these people, but if you're not constantly on top of mind, then you're kind of like a gerbil in the wheel. You're
Yeah,
gonna going in one place. And then I would say to have my two inspectors up and running. So no matter what I'm doing, there's no way that we're in a position to tell people we can't get it done because we're booked.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
I do something like kind of similar. Like I don't have a CRM, but I keep track of stuff in spreadsheets.
Yeah.
So like I'll meet a new realtor, and I have to follow up with them, of course. But like, yeah, if I was just doing all this networking on social media and everything like that, like things are gonna slip through the cracks, you know. Like you might have had a great conversation with one of these realtors, and then 6 months later they
Yeah.
know who you are, but
Yeah.
are they going to keep referring you business? So if you keep track of these things, and then you just like every 6 weeks you give them a call and, hey, how you doing? I've been thinking about you, blah blah blah. And you just
Yeah.
kind of like that's smart, because then nothing gets through the cracks, and I'm telling you, ROI, or you're just not even return, it's just your revenues will soar, you
Yeah.
know, especially as you're growing. So that's a good way to feed it. So you should, yeah, I didn't even think about that because I know investing is more of like utilizing CRMs, but
Yeah.
you should definitely use that too.
So I haven't put my CRM into place yet, but it's not going to be the typical don't forget to turn your clocks back. Like I'm not doing that nonsense, but it's just going to be more of like maintenance tips or like, but they're all going to be videos because I feel like if you're texting or sending like articles, like no one's reading that.
Would you send it like through email?
Yeah, they have CRMs where like you could send out like video email. So I
Oh,
would say once a month it would just be, maybe it's something seasonal, like, hey guys, don't forget to winterize
right.
your hose bibs, or like in the springtime, hey guys, don't forget to make sure you have termite trap set, just stuff like that.
Oh, so who would that go to? Realtors or the people that you've done business with, like homeowners that you've done
Realtors,
business? Because
I'd
I
say,
get, sorry, I was about to say, because I get something from my original home inspector that bought this house, like he did my home,
yeah,
and he sends me like a monthly thing, like
yeah,
tips. So maybe that's what you're referring to.
yeah. Is it an
Okay.
article or
It's it's sort of like an article. Yeah, it'll say a few tips on like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, like what you just said. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it's winter. Like make sure
Yep,
the hoses are, yeah, things like that
exactly.
make sense. Like it was useful in the beginning. Now I kind of know all this stuff, but it was like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was like I know something that's very smart.
Yep.
So I guess it's good. Yeah, you should do that, and the realtors, because the homeowners they're gonna refer you too. Like, their cousin buys a house. Who are you gonna use?
Of
The home
course.
inspector. Oh, Mike Totino, he did a great job.
Of course.
Here's his number. It's on the email, that
Yep.
kind of thing. And then the realtors obviously are going to refer you business as well. So that's something that maybe you could certainly put them on the list, but it's also something that's got to be done in person. I think,
Of course.
that's more of a relationship type of thing, which
I
you
agree.
already know this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, dude, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much.
Anytime, my
It's a
friend.
great podcast, dude. Thanks so much.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Anytime.
later.